Hello everyone and welcome back to Kodular free AIA.com. This is Hifza here and I'm excited to continue our app series. In the last tutorial we set up the user interface and start working on some of the core logic blocks. Today we are adding two very important features, a countdown timer for each question and a progress bar that fills up as the user moves through the quiz. Let's get right into it, but before we start coding, let me quickly walk you through a couple of components I have already added. We are using clock 2 as our countdown timer. I have set its time enable to false by default and its time interval to 1000 milliseconds, which means it ticks every second. Now in our logic blocks, we are actually enabling the clock 2 inside the clock 1. That is also the load data that is also responsible for loading new questions. So each time a new question is loaded, clock 1 enables clock 2. Let me show you how exactly it will work. So this is the raw code that I've already been using for practicing, but this is not working right now, so I'm going to do this from scratch. Then here what we are doing, that first we have a global variable called global time and we have set it to 10 seconds every time a new question loads. So I have set it to global time to 10. We also update a label called label time to display the current time at second, like 10 second, 9 second and so on. We are going to set these inside a clock 1 timer, that is load data, because these are going to be renew every time a new question loads. So I'm going to add them in clock 1 dot timer. So moving on towards clock 2 timer. So what we need to do here is we need to check that if global time is greater than 0. If it is, we decrease the global time by 1 every second. We also update the time label with the new value. And once the time hits 0, we disable clock 2 and load the new question, and also increase the global question ID with 1, so the app knows that which question to show next. So for this we need to add if else statement. So from controls we need to add if else, that is here, and we also need from logic, from math, this equals block, and from this equals block we need a greater than sign. So every time a clock hits, we need to check that if global time is greater than 0. So every time when global time is greater than 0, what should it do? It should decrease the global time by 1 every second. So we need this block and we need a subtraction block for this. From math you can easily get this block, and we need to decrease 1 from global time. That means it go with 10, 9, 8, 7 and so on. Now for the else statement, suppose if it is global time get equal to 0, then what it should do, it should disable, of course, disable the clock 2 and also load other question. And with load data we know that we have to get question ID, so we need to increase question ID as well. So we need to increase the question ID. For this we need question ID and question ID plus 1. Get question ID, and we are going to increment it with 1. That means we are loading other question. And also here we need a global time, but we are decreasing from global time. So this is it for from clock 2 timer. And This gives each question a 10-second countdown on whether the user answer or not. The next question will load once time turns out. Right, one more thing that we need to add in here is that we are updating global time um, every 1 second, and we are decreasing one from global time, and we need to show that in label time. So I'm gonna add set label time dot text to global time and followed by second. So this is how this is going to show you time each second. Now let's move on to the progress bar. This bar shows how far the user has gone in the quiz. We want it to grow by 10% each time with each question. Right now you can see that it's on the progress bar is on 10%. That means we have loaded question number 1, and with question number 1 its width is 10%. So here is how we're going to do it. So what we need to do is, on question number 1 the width is 10%, on question number 2 the width should be 20%, and on question number 3 the width should be 30%. It's very simple, just multiply the current question ID by 10 to get the correct progress width. For this, we need to do is go in the progress bar and select the width percent component and add it in clock 1 timer, that is also a load data. And with that we need a multiplication block. So from math we need to add the multiplication component, and we need to add question ID, multiply question ID with 10, which means that if the user is on question number 1 the progress bar width should be 10%, and then if the user move on towards the second question the width should be 20%, and so on. So this is it. This is how you add progress bar in quiz application. Alright, let's test this by connecting the companion app. As you see, as you can see, the question loads, the countdown timer starts from 10 seconds, and the progress bar updates perfectly with each new question. When I select an option and move on to the next question, everything works as expected. Alright, so you can also add more features to make it even better, like show a times up notification if the user doesn't answer in time, add a score screen at the end, and also don't forget, once the quiz reaches beyond 10% to 10 question, you should handle that case, maybe display a game over message or stop the quiz. And I'm leaving it as a small challenge for you. So this is it, and if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Also hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. And if you have any question